MrJamble. I made this character the other day, and I'm currently on tier 65 already, with like shit gear. I'm gonna tell you guys how I'm doing that. The most important thing to know is that once you go to a higher difficulty, your resistance will be reduced, obviously. So at all times, you need to have maximum resistance. Then again, also your armor will decrease. If you go all the way down to the bottom, armor goes towards 1000, and that's the maximum amount of armor you can have. But I right now have 1100 armor. How the hell is this enough? Because it will decrease, obviously, because I'm in world tier 2 right now. For that, I'm using disobedience. What disobedience does is every time you hit a target, then you get 40% increased armor. So let's say I have 1000. Well, now I have 1400. Another way to decrease damage taken is by having you gain increased damage reduction. You basically delete damage from existence by having this. So you take even less damage. And then there's also barrier. So I'm on this character, I'm basically using Rift a lot, which is my ultimate skill. And this gives me like a lot of barrier. And on top of that, I have more barrier like somewhere here, yeah. But right here, I have another barrier for my minions. So each time I have a lucky hit, I have a chance to barrier myself for 504. So you're basically stacking barrier, damage reduction, max armor, increase resistances, and you can also do maximum resistances. So let's say I'm using the Dawning Sky right now. I'm losing a lot of damage by using this, but I increase my all resistance for this. Other ideas how you can get resistances is do the 1 on armor piece. So what you can do is on the amulet you can do crafted all resistances. That would cover a lot. And then do try resistances with the jams. And then look at your paragon tree to see if there's more resistance there. Another idea is that you can have 1 resistance per armor piece, because resistances on armor pieces go up to 75 if you have it starred. You need to have at least 5 million plus damage. So you have to like look at a skill that stacks damage or has a lot of damage from itself. So let's say if I go to a necromancer right now, I'm getting carried by my minions and Ring of the Medlem, or however this shit is called. Whenever this procs, I hit like 5 to 12 million damage, which is not the max damage that I can deal obviously, but it's a lot of damage. So let's say other minion skills that I'm like, yeah, that's gonna do a lot of damage. So let's move over. Blood Wave. You can spam Blood Wave, and that does the most damage for a Necromancer. And after that, then comes the Bone skills. So then I go all the way back up, and then you have Bone Spear. That's the second highest damage dealing thing that you can do. But Minions is like 3rd place, I would say, for this character. Nah, maybe 4th place, because Blood Wave does a lot of damage. Bone Spear does a lot of damage. Bone Spear does a lot of damage. Bloodlance doesn't do that much. Blood Surge can do a lot of damage. But yeah, Minions is like on the bottom, I would say, for this character. Because the problem is, you have to like survive and also do a lot of damage. Something that's also interesting to do is you can hire the mercenary Sabo with reinforcement Rahir. And then your question is, why the hell would I have Rahir? So you have Bastion. Each 30 seconds you can throw a Bastion for 5 seconds, and in those 5 seconds you're immortal. because the 90% will stack up with your 35% on the helmet, so you're taking 0 damage and you're unstoppable for 5 seconds. So I think this is also like really good to have Bastion, in my opinion. If you're working with combinations with like curses and everything, then I would say Pyronado is the best, because it does like a lot of physical damage, and this physical damage can scale up to like millions of damage. So that is actually pretty nice for bosses, because this Pyronado will basically stay in place. If you do it on the boss, it will stay in place, which is really nice. It does a lot of boss damage. The cycle is not that great, I would say, unless you're running a poison build like Poison Rogue. If you're running a Poison Rogue, the cycle is really good. Doom Orb is only good on the Sorcerer. Yeah, this is only good at the Sorcerer. And that's kind of like it. Besides that, you're using Vengeful Spirit or you're using Pyronado by combinations. What I'm doing is I'm using Frog Servant, which does a lot of poison damage. Hour Siphoning, which also increases my, my donut, my circle around me. Soul Harvest I'm using, which increases damage and cooldowns and everything. It's really nice. Then I'm using Hex of Whispers, which does shadow damage and fortifies me. That's more defense. And then I'm using this, which increases the damage from my summons by like 40%. I'm gonna up this to 20, but it takes like a lot of points. But yeah, it's like you're stacking damage upon damage. That's basically the thing. You can do crit scaling, which is like scale your critical damage like by as much as you possibly can. So if I go up here, my crit damage and crit chance is really low right now, and that's because I'm not crit stacking right now because I don't have the right pieces for it. What I'm doing is I stack mage damage and I stack vulnerable damage and I stack all damage. I'm stacking those 3 damage types because they all are multiplicative, which will increase the damage of my skills. Also, what's really nice to know is that you don't really have to run optimal things or your gear to beat 65. Because if I look at my gear, like all of them are like +4. They don't have like crazy stuff on them. It's like pretty ass in my opinion. I'm even running movement speed like a lot. I'm even running movement speed on my amulet. I'm losing so much damage. I'm not even like, I don't even got this start. I don't even have like here the things that I need. I have fucking Bone Spirit cooldown. I don't use that. So even with an unoptimal build, by scaling it in the right way, you can still do like massive amounts of damage. I'm not running meta or anything like that. Like I'm not running meta at all. Also, if you go back on your Paragon tree, there's like those nodes. By filling in the requirements, you increase your damage by a shit ton too. Also, always have the range. Upgrade this to 45. I don't even have it on 45. As you can see, all those nodes, I'm trying to like fill the requirements so I get damage bonus. Here I'm missing it, and here I got it. But that's like, you get a lot of bonus damage, and there's multiple multiplicative bonuses too, like Cult Leaders, multiplicative. It increases by all the attack speed that you currently possess, and it multiplies that. I don't even have like all the Paragon points, dude. I don't have shit, man. I'm just running on optimal, unmeta, and I'm still like slapping the game.